Hi everyone, it's Jamie from Stuffs and Things by JD, and I just got back from the Indiana Peony Festival in Noblesville, Indiana, and I was inspired with all the beautiful vendors and peonies and bushes and flowers and everything that they had there. So I wanted to get on here and do a swag with you based on that inspiration. So there is a shop there called Logan Village Mall, and they had a beautiful display with a huge arch of baskets and deco mesh and flowers and all the things. So I actually posted a video earlier today with some of the pictures from the festival, and the shop is in there. So we are going to use different colors of peonies. I've got a soft mauve, I've got a hot pink, a light pink, and we're just gonna go crazy with it and see what we can do. But I am putting this on a swag, and this is one of those 4-foot swags that you can get. That's a pine base. And so the first thing I've done is I also got this tote at the festival. It's a beautiful tote. It is from Blush Love Flora, and they had a little booth there, so I will tag them. But I got this tote there, and then of course I went with the basket theme because there was just so many different baskets of flowers, and so we're going to just kind of do this as our inspiration. This is the top of our swag, and this is the bottom of our swag. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I have no idea what we're doing. This is just totally random, and I just thought we would come on here and do a video while we're trying to figure it out, because I have no idea what will happen and what is to come. So I am going to cut down some ficus. I love ficus. It's a great filler. And I'm probably going to use most of these pieces whole, because I really want them to fill a lot of this in. So I'm just going to get started. And I would love to know in the comments if you've ever been to a peony festival. Do you like peonies? They are one of my favorite flowers. This is a longer piece, so I like to use the longer pieces at the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to use this one probably at the bottom because I really want to elongate this swag. Even though it's already 4 foot, I really want to come in here and just really elongate this piece, because as you see, the pine goes all the way down here. So it's only elongating it about a couple inches. Not sure how many of these we'll use. Again, this is just completely random. I didn't even know what I was going to do. But I was walking the festival and I saw this tote, and I just said, I have to have that. I have to do something with that. I have to use it in representation of today and how wonderful the day was, and do it justice. So that's what we're doing. That's where I'm, and then again, just the basket arch. I really loved it. And I think if you're in the crew, Candy actually posted something recently that showed a bunch of baskets on an arch outside of a shop as well. So I love the concept. So that's what we're just going with today. And we are just figuring it out. So I'm really just kind of putting all this ficus in here more for just a solid base. I'm trying to see where I want to put another piece. Got it. I'm really just kind of making it look like it's coming out everywhere. This might be a little longer than my normal videos, but I just thought it would be fun. I'm just trying to get in here in between the mesh and the pine so that I've got something for the ficus to grab onto. So you see here I've got more of just like a half circle kind of going on. And I need a little something here. Thought about adding in some of the infamous bead grass, and we might still, but this is again on a 4-foot pine swag, and I will tell you that I did add some curls of deco mesh around. Let me just take this off and show you real quick. I did add some curls of deco mesh down the sides. That way it gives it extra foundation. A couple on the top here. I'll go back and snip some of these if they don't get hidden by flowers. But again, I don't want to snip anything off until, we get covered with flowers and all the things. So and you can really get lots of good baskets just about anywhere. Okay. I feel like I'm going to cut this down a little bit and move it just because that's enough there, but I want this up a little higher. And I'm going to go right in under here. There, that's better. Now I'm going to put some in here because I really have this kind of like it's spilling out a little bit. So I'm going to come in here. Probably cut up another one. So you see I just kind of put a piece here. I saw lots of ruscus. I actually bought some flowers today and got some ruscus. So these are some of the peonies I got today. Want this to kind of hang over this basket a little bit. It gives it kind of more of a 3D look, and that's what I like. Kind of what I'm going for here. Again, just bringing some of that out forward towards in front of the basket. This is looking good already. I'm loving it. You know, you'll hear me say a lot of times, you know, just trust the process, because it seems like sometimes when you get started, you just don't really have any, it's not making any sense. There's no rhyme or reason, but you just really need to trust your process. Okay, I'm going to keep this one really long because I'm going to go in the basket. And inside the basket, I put a big block of foam after I covered it with some Spanish moss. So I'm going to put that in there, and then you'll see I'm just going to bend that down. Just like that. So I want it to look more like it's spilling out, like the tote's carrying some flowers and they're spilling out. Okay, I'm gonna pick another greenery. I do have some ivy that I want to use, but I'm gonna put it on last. So I'm gonna use this filler bush. And I really like it. It has so many different things. It has some long thingamabobs. It has little things that look like hops. It's got fern. It's got ruscus. It's got everything in it here. So I really want to use some of this. Especially these long pieces here. I'm going to put that down towards the base, the fern hanging down. The nice thing about this is you can actually cut this down in multiple pieces. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces, and then I'm going to use one on each side of that piece I just put in. Because it's full of so many different greeneries, it does not really matter. It all looks like it blends in anyway. Cut this one down too. And I'm working on one side right now, but that's really because because I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring out where I want to put my pieces, so then I can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to put some on the other side now. I need to pull my hair back. Let me just do that real quick. Okay, better. See, this is all getting built out now. I could put put a piece here, but I might put some ivy there instead. I really want that to kind of pop out. And it does not hurt to move things around and change your mind and pull them out. Remember, nothing has to be perfect. See, we've got some green there. I'm going to do another piece on the other side. Going right in here where the basket is connected, hiding that. Now this is my longest possible piece, so I am going to put this one inside the basket. Again, I just want it to look like everything's growing together and it's just all part of one happy design. Again, I'm going to bend this down because I do want it to look more like it's flowing out. Now these pieces are going to stick up and that's okay. Just let it be. Let it do its own thing. I've got 2 pieces left and I may have to use another one, or at least a few cuts. This is a 4-foot swag, so it takes a little more product, but that's one of the reasons why I filled it with the tote and the baskets. And you might be wondering where I have room for a bow. I'm not using a bow this time. I want the baskets and the tote to be the star of the show. So they are going to be all by themselves as the star. And that's what I want. Okay, let's go ahead and cut up another one. Because I definitely want to use some of the hop looking plants. I love those. Here that needs, see, look, I love that. Love it. The mesh is also going to help hold some of this greenery for me, which is another reason why we put that in there. Wanted to make sure I had something to hold on to. Another piece I'm going to put over here. I see a spot that I might put some other. Now, some of these really long pine ties will get cut down for sure. kind of wish this was live because I'd really love to know what everybody thinks so far. Because I'm loving it, but... And on this one, so typically when I do a deco mesh, I like to cover on my mesh. Again, I'm going with the inspiration from the festival, and they actually had the mesh lined out like this, showing, as it helps the eye flow through the design. So that I am leaving, and I wanted to incorporate some of that this way. So that's why you see the deco mesh. Generally, I hide it. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on any more of that for now. And now I want to go in with some ivy. Now, I am going to stick a whole piece in this tote because I want it long. I might actually, because you're not going to see anything, but I might actually take this piece off because otherwise it's just kind of a waste. Now I'm just kind of moving things around. Moving the ivy so that it's all incorporated together. Yeah, like that. Now I got an extra piece that I can put somewhere else. And I'll probably put it right here where I said I wanted a piece. I really want that to cover the pine, but I also want it to drape down and follow the flow of this mesh. Step back and take a look. Some of this will get more incorporated when we start adding flowers. And I'm probably going to put a piece here because then it'll go kind of like this. But I might put some on this piece too. I used bind wire to bind these to the base. You can use pretty much anything you want. I want this to kind of look like it's growing around the basket handle. And I've got these here, so then now I'm going to bring one over here and probably one down. I doubt that I will put one all the way at the top just because ivy tends to grow downward. And so more little piece. So I am going to put it down here at the bottom so it looks like it's kind of just growing down here with everything, like that. I love this so far. I know the basket's starting to get a little lost, and that's okay. That's exactly still what I wanted. I mean, we can always pull some of the mesh up a little bit if we need to. I basically just tied the mesh into the pine ties, just like you would your curls. Okay. Awesome. Okay, now I want to start in, I can't decide if I want to do my small flowers or put my big peonies in. Alright, so I have this really big, beautiful one that I thought would be very pretty in the basket, especially since I only have one in a bud. So I'm cutting them down as far down as I possibly can. Even farther if I can. And I'm going to leave these leaves on here because honestly, it's just going to be a filler. And that's fine. Alright. But I thought this would look really good next to the tote. I'm just trying to stick it down in there into the foam. Get some more glue. Now if you have a still pick machine, that would be good for this. I don't, so it's going just very slow. I want it to face outward a little bit more. There we go. And the leaves are popping out. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Okay. All right. I really like this bud. I'm just trying to figure out. I think I may stick it here in the basket. Something. I don't want to go the same direction as that. Maybe something like that. Or I might do something on the top. So that it looks like it's coming out of the tote. Like that. I think I like that better. So it's still, it looks like it's incorporated into the tote, but it's just right behind. Okay. Now I want to put a couple of these really pretty soft pink, but I think I might go with these pink. Yeah, I might go with these instead. So I need a really long piece. Oops, pulled that leaf off. And this has got a single bloom, and then it's got another bloom with a tiny little bud. That's so pretty. My thought is to stick it like right in here. You can hear it going into the foam. So now I'm just trying to work these in, so of course that they're, you know, look more like incorporated than just stuck in a basket. I'm going to move this. Playing with my flowers, trying to get them to where I want them to be. There we go. Now I'm going to probably put another bloom right in there, but this big one. Sticking it down in there, into that foam. Yeah, that did it. So you see how this kind of looks now, like it's all incorporated, and the peonies are more in a bunch. And it also, if you look on either side, you can tell there's peonies over here too. So that's really nice. Make sure it, you know, gives you a full look. Okay. Now I've been using some leftover peonies from other projects too. So I've got this one. I actually have another one like it. So I just have a couple, and I thought it would be fun to just kind of incorporate these in here somewhere. Just looks like they're kind of growing out. Trying to make sure I'm something that will hold that glue. Just step back and take a look. And you see if I'm putting one on one side and putting one on the other side, it just might be a little bit farther down. Like that. And now I'm just trying to make it look like there's really peonies everywhere in this design. So we're going to just start filling it up. I didn't catch a piece of the mesh, so it did not stick the correct way. So again, you just want to make sure when you're going in there that you are sticking everything to something. Got one more like that. One here, one here, one here, one here, one here, those there. I'm going to probably put this one down at the bottom. I really like these, so. This 4-foot swag is pretty low when you got to get in here and put stuff in. Okay, so now we've got our hot pink, and I definitely want some hot pink in here. Now, I really want one of these in this basket. So I'm just gonna take the little end of it and I'm going to stick it down here inside the basket where there's like a little hole. And the leaves can kind of cover that up. And there you have one. And some of these sticks I am leaving a lot longer because I need these peonies at different lengths coming out, but then I also have to go farther in sometimes to get them to stick into the mesh. So, and that one almost looks like it's coming down the side of the basket, and that's fine. Guess what? Flowers don't grow straight. They don't grow even. They have a mind of their own, and we let them do what they want to do, because then it looks a lot more natural if you let your flowers do what they want. Sometimes I don't get enough glue because I'm trying to not have a bunch of blobs, and then I don't have enough, so. There we go. This is the fun part. This is, you know, the greenery and the deco mesh and all that is kind of just tediousness. This is the fun part. This is where you really get to just play and do what you like. And at this point, I'm just putting peonies in where I want to see them. I need something here. I need some here. I want something here. So, just gonna keep on going. And again, I'm keeping my stems long because I have a lot of, I gotta go in there quite far. I'm gonna break up these pink here. I haven't glued this yet, but I just want to make sure, yeah, that's where I want that. This is why I thought about using bead grass, because some of these have a little, you know, have a little bit of bead grass on them. Looks really nice. Okay, here we go. some of that greenery in. Just looking to see where else I might want. Still want this to kind of face forward more. I think I want maybe one more down there. Let's see what it looks like. Yep, definitely. Just because it's gonna break up this, all this pink and pink, soft pink, and just give it a little bit more. Just sliding it up in there to make sure it gets in there all the way. A little there, here, here, but remember I have another pink, so I also have this that I want to definitely use, and I have some cream ranunculus that I want to incorporate, so I think I might try to leave these out because I really like the way this is looking so far. But I do want to use this beautiful ranunculus bush. So. And a lot of times, ranunculus actually looks similar to peonies. So, peonies, however you say it. Tomato. But I love these because we like to say there's dingle dangles. These are a good dingle dangle. I'm just gonna go right in here, in the middle of all of that. Just so that it pops out. Yeah, I think that was exactly what I needed here. See how that just kind of gives it pop of color and bring that more down to the basket side. I've got these here. So I need one over here, but I'm going to go up a little bit. That way they're not just exactly opposite of each other. I just don't like doing that kind of symmetry. I like for it to be a little bit more off-centered or try to bring this forward a little bit. Not sure if I like that. Need to step back. I like the length everything else is at, but I don't like how far out these are, so I'm going to pull these off and resituate them. I like that better. I didn't like how far out it was hanging. Okay, so this piece, I think I'm going to put it up in here, but I need to cut it down a little bit. I'm going to throw a couple of these in here, especially since they're so long. Let's see if I have, this is the longest one. Gotta cut it down. Gotta cut it down a little bit. Sure it's down in there good. And I'll probably play with this many times, but I just like that. Okay. Definitely got to put one here and then one here. Just kind of moving some of the flowers around so it looks more like it's growing out there together. Yes, I really do like this. It's pretty. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on our filler. Clean up my table a little bit. And this is just one of those Hobby Lobby gypso fillers. Very nice. They're, you can get them on sale. I'm gonna use this whole thing. The nice thing is that this is a pusher, so you can make it as compact or loose as you like. And I am going to definitely put some in here. To add some of that pink next to the hot pink. And some greenery. Just to kind of make it look like, there we go. Now these don't have really long stems, so it would be very hard to put this all the way down in the foam in that tote. So I'm going to try something else and see if it works. Pushing everything up to the, I don't want to waste anything, so pushing it all the way up to the top. And the goal is here to really hook it into the top piece of the foam or onto the mesh or another bush. And it was just long enough to get down into the foam. So I'm just pushing some of it down so it's not all clumped to the top. There we go. Now you can also cut these down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So if you need just like a little piece, you can definitely cut it down. And I'm going to do that here. And I'm going to take my pliers. Since this is a pusher, I don't want it to push up off there, so I'm just going to bend the wire over. That way it doesn't come off the end. Just like that. Nobody will even know. So I've got some here, some here, some here. Now we're just going to start filling in. And I'm just really looking to see if I see any pine ties anywhere. And if I do, I'm putting some in there. This one isn't really noticeable, but I notice it when I'm over here on the side, so I want to still cover that up. You just never know where somebody's going to be standing and looking, so I'm going to keep this piece a little longer for right up in here. But I'm going to push some of it up because there's no point in wasting it and having it being hidden. And you can't even really see that much, but again, this is just filling. You know, you're just filling and putting all your colors together. We are about done. I hope that you enjoyed this. Again, I had no idea what I was going to make when I started. I just knew I wanted to do something with that tote. And after I got it on the swag, I just decided I really wanted to throw in some baskets from inspiration today. So that's what I did. And that's where we ended up. I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I like to go in and make my peonies look a little bit more blossomed and bloomed. So I like to kind of do that. Unless they're a bud, of course. Okay, I'm going to stick some down there at the bottom. But just to show you how I made that little curly cue. Putting some down there to just finish it off, and I do need some right in here as well, so luckily I have a few more pieces. This is where I made that ficus kind of pop out around the basket, so all places. Okay. That is it. Now the other thing that I will tell you you could have done if you didn't like the look of the deco mesh, right? You could have taken ribbons and done that. Put some ribbons through here. You could have taken some burlap. You could have taken tulle. I think tulle would have been a little bit more fragile, but you definitely could have done that. All right, so now really all I have left to do, I am going to probably trim this down just a little bit because it's really a little too high for me. So I'm going to just move it. But then the next thing I'm going to do, which you don't have to watch, but I'm going to go around and cut down some of these pine ties that stick up way too high, because again I don't need them that high, so I'm just going to cut those down and shape the outside. But that's it. I would love it if you could leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Did you like this design? Would you ever do something like this? Has it inspired you? But please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is where I do a lot of my tutorials and items and teachings and things like that now. So I would love it if you subscribe. But again, thank you for being here, and see you on the other side.